Today, we will journey to the vast steppes of Central Asia to uncover the truth about one of the most enigmatic and powerful figures of all time, Genghis Khan. You may have heard tales of unparalleled cruelty, legends about his massive lineage, or contradictory accounts of his conquests. But what is myth and what is reality? Join me on this journey to discover the 10 myths and truths about the great Khan. 1. Myth. He was just a bloodthirsty barbarian. Many depict Genghis Khan as a savage brute whose sole purpose was destruction. However, the truth is more complex. Genghis Khan capitalized on tribal organization and established a legal code, the Yasa, which enforced discipline and order throughout his empire. While he waged war mercilessly to expand his realm, he also implemented governmental structures and religious tolerance that were remarkable for his time. 2. Myth. Mongols destroyed everything in their path. Yes, the Mongols wiped out cities that resisted them, but it wasn't random savagery. They often offered peaceful surrender to the cities they approached. If these cities refused, the consequences were devastating. If they submitted, the Mongols spared large-scale bloodshed. In fact, many cities continued to thrive under Mongol rule, supported by tribute payments and the protection of trade routes. 3. Myth. He had millions of direct descendants. A well-known story claims Genghis Khan fathered a countless number of children, with some estimates suggesting that 1 in 200 men worldwide share his genetic lineage. Is it myth or fact? The truth is that while he did have multiple wives and children, genetic studies point to a lineage that emerged in Central Asia about 1,000 years ago and spread widely. But attributing all of it directly to Genghis Khan remains controversial. There may have been a cluster of related ancestors sharing similar genetic markers, so the exact number of his descendants is still debated in scientific circles. 4. Myth. Mongols were illiterate and did not foster knowledge. Despite the stereotype of nomadic warriors, the Mongol Empire was a major driving force for the exchange of culture and science between Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Under their dominion, the Silk Road reached its golden age, facilitating the flow of inventions, knowledge, and religions. Chinese, Persian, and Arabic ideas spread to the West, influencing fields like cartography, medicine, and astronomy. 5. Myth. Genghis Khan despised Chinese culture. It's often assumed that Genghis Khan harbored an intense hatred for China due to the invasions and battles. Yet the truth is that he recognized the value of Chinese culture and administration. Later, his grandson Kublai Khan adopted many aspects of Chinese bureaucracy to govern more effectively, though the conquest itself was brutal. Instead of outright rejecting Chinese traditions, the Mongols embraced what was most useful to strengthen their empire. 6. Myth. He was a war leader without any real strategy. This couldn't be farther from the truth. Genghis Khan revolutionized military tactics in his time. He and his generals organized units called tumen and mastered the use of horse archers, employing lightning strikes and feint attacks. They also excelled in psychological warfare, diplomatic negotiations, and espionage. Their success relied on meticulous planning and the unmatched mobility of their cavalry, not just brute force. 7. Myth. Genghis Khan was indifferent to religion. Despite his reputation as a ruthless conqueror, Genghis Khan generally showed tolerance towards various religions, including Nestorian Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. Part of his legal code, the Yasa, upheld religious freedom and punished religious discrimination, so long as believers remained loyal to the empire. This openness paved the way for missionaries and scholars of different faiths to visit his court. 8. Myth. His greatest legacy was only death and destruction. Although Genghis Khan's conquests brought unimaginable bloodshed, His legacy also includes uniting much of the Eurasian continent under a single domain and stabilizing the Silk Road, which sparked intense commercial and cultural exchange. Add to that developments in messenger systems, communication routes, and legal frameworks, which in some ways prefigured globalization. 9. Myth. He was physically imposing with a fierce appearance. In popular culture, he's often portrayed as a towering figure with harsh features. In truth, there are no authentic portraits of Genghis Khan from his own time. The images we see today are later interpretations. It's plausible he was tough, accustomed to a nomadic and military life, but his exact height and facial features remain unknown. 10. Myth. His ferocity makes him the worst villain in history. Perceptions of Genghis Khan vary depending on where you go. In many parts of Central Asia, he is considered a national hero, the unifier of the tribes and founder of a vast empire. In the West and other regions, he's viewed as a genocidal figure responsible for millions of deaths. Who is correct? History is rarely black and white. Genghis Khan was undoubtedly ruthless, but also a visionary whose influence on politics, culture, and economy still resonates today. In the end, Genghis Khan symbolizes both the heights and depths of humanity, conquest, death, and destruction, alongside order, cultural exchange, and religious tolerance. He's a figure not easily judged by modern standards without understanding the context of his time. What do you think about these myths and truths? Have they changed your perspective? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this historical journey, subscribe and turn on notifications for more content on the greatest figures in human history. Until next time.